Kultag would just come over the Kayak mountain pass and had done 24 hours absolutely non-stop sitting in the saddle of snow machines.
Waffles, potatoes, bacon, eggs, toast, coffee.
How does it taste?
Heaven. It's better than pizzas out of the Skidoo engine.
Well, I'm a little tired, like the rest of these piggy-eyed people around me. But I think yesterday was the absolute best day of all. Because we had a bit of adventure, a bit of endurance, a few laughs, and we didn't go to bed all night, so it felt like a real expedition.
It doesn't really matter, but it will take us a lot of time anyhow, 140 or 95.
But it wasn't going to be all easy, in the same way as we had problems over in Siberia, so we suddenly found that now it really was starting to thaw. And we were going through pretty mushy snow on the rivers, which only 2 weeks earlier had been easy to go through. And we realised that if we didn't get all the way there, we'd be getting into a time when the river was thawing too much for us to go over it. And then we really would have lost. If we hadn't crossed the Bering Straits, which we hadn't, and we hadn't been able to do the snowmobile, what kind of expedition was it? And Art Mortvedt, who was our Alaskan leader, suddenly found that he went in. So we spent 1.5 days in Ruby, cleaning everything up, drying it all off, and debating how on earth we were going to go forward. And then we found two extraordinary helpers, Tom and Larry. And they came up 125 miles in just under 5 hours, and we took 3-4 times as long as that for another 15 to 20 hour day to go from Ruby all the way down to Manly Hot Spring.
Though the best thing is it's a brilliant day. We can see what we've been missing on the Yukon, and hell, even if they say from Tanana to Manly is 65 miles of motorway, I'll believe that when I see it, but we couldn't go home without trying, could we?
Once again I was stuck at the back, and that meant that whilst they were all having their lunches and tea breaks and coffee breaks, I was desperately trying to keep up with them, and then didn't get much tea, lunch or coffee break.
Hey, this is the most brilliant day. I was even more elated until I came off 30 seconds ago, but so I thought I was rather good at skidooing, but I've backtracked a bit, but best day ever, eh, gang? What do you think? Yeah? Absolutely. It's like having your own roller coaster and being in charge of it.
We're almost there. Just around the bend.
No, you said that the last time. You said, just round the next corner. Oh, great.
I want to keep your spirits.
Yeah, there's no more water when we're round the next bend. We've been around 5 bends and we've been through another 3 sets of water. Larry, you're lying to us.
And there was General Viktor Karputkin, a general of the Soviet times, snowmobiling through Alaska. It was an extraordinary achievement. We really were a United Nations project, and you felt it as we were coming to the end of this journey. Because once we got here, it was, well, we thought, plain sailing. And we were getting pretty close to the end of the winter season. And I knew this was the last but one day before we'd never be able to do it. No one did do it, including Tom, who was leading us through. And then suddenly it's roads. We're in the cars. We actually were back in the Ford Mondeos and the Mavericks, which had taken us all the way across Russia. And some had new motors and some had been completely done up. So somehow or other, we had to get to New York in 4 days for a journey which should take 10. So we created beds in the back of the car and went on.
And I've pulled enough dead people out of cars in my time to know what it's like. So don't talk to me about safety, all right? That's enough. He's petrified and he knows enough about bloody rally driving, okay? I don't care where you f***ing learnt to drive.
I don't want to get personal into who's doing well and who's doing badly, but I've been sitting at the back and I've been watching, and it's not a good start. Okay. So I'd like you all to believe that there's a car around every single bend. Not there isn't, because if you don't believe that, you're in real trouble. But let's be very, very, very cautious. Okay, let's go again.
I just tried to pass them because they said the road is clear, so I assumed the road is clear, so I moved to a pass and I tried, the Munia didn't have a radio, I tried to signal her to go aside and I got a little close. I was in control all the time, I knew what happens.
Don't worry, you're with me now. I'll look after you.
I think I need some rehabilitation.
Okay, I'm going to pass my, I hope to pass my test next year.
Darn it, we're only laughing, mate, I tell her.
Oh, my L plate's falling off.
We're about 500 miles out of Edmonton, 2,500 miles from Fairbanks, and 2,500 miles from New York. We're about 1,600 miles from Toronto, which is where we're trying to get to for this presumed stopover where we can actually go to bed. When I was at school, I always wanted to drive across America, but I was going to do it. I thought about doing it in 6 weeks, not 4 days.
So from here on, we just drove all the way across Canada. And it was just a feeling of towns coming, towns going. We stopped for petrol every 5 or 6 hours. We ate a little bit, but not much. We slept in the cars and kept on going. It feels like just one day, not the 4 it was. Just non-stop driving to see if we could make it. And, hey, there was Victor Karputkin stopping at McDonald's and having hamburgers and milkshakes. And the road got clearer and clearer, and it became more and more civilized. And suddenly the sunsets that I'd recognized on previous journeys across America were looking as they always had. And I'm almost forgetting the fact we've been on one of the most extraordinary expeditions, the most extraordinary drive that's ever happened. And it just was relentless. Day and night, day and night, day and night. And every now and again we'd stop at a monument. This is a monument of a person, a one-legged person, because he'd lost another leg with cancer, who'd walked across Canada.
And he wanted to raise money because he had cancer in his right leg, and his right leg was taken off. And by the time he got to Canada, or to Ontario, he'd run 2 or almost 3,000 miles, and the nation was just captivated by the courage and the spirit. And millions of dollars started flowing for cancer research. But I think we've shown a lot of courage in our journey across the world, and I thought we'd stop here to see a Canadian example. And now we got to get back in the car.
2 minutes stop.
See you, Terry.
Nice to meet you.
We've done 3,930 miles now. And we're nearly there.
I haven't broken the speed limit.
I'm not breaking it now. Going to break it a bit more.
And then suddenly we were in Toronto, a big city. It effectively would reach the end of the journey. Lots of friends I'd known from old who lived in Toronto were here. And this extraordinary journey was effectively at an end. Not quite, as I'd find out later on.